Okay, we are live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on team Would you hire an AI agent for your software development team? Today, we'll be discussing many aspects of AI agents, focusing particularly on what are AI agents, why are we struggling in software development, who is interested in using AI agents, how do AI agents improve team productivity, and what are the outcomes of AI agents work for our teams. Now, I would like to introduce our special guest, Bartek Roszak, Head of AI at STX NEXT, building cutting-edge AI solutions. Hello, Bartek. Could you please tell us a bit more about yourself and your background?
Sure. Hello, Mateusz. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I am in something that people called AI. For like, I've been working like for last 10 years or something, starting as a junior data scientist, progressing to more leadership roles, managerial roles, working mostly for startups and developing. I would say. Like for most of my career, I was developing neurons from scratch, training them, building them for audio issues, also in finance. But currently, I am responsible in STX Next. I'm responsible for technical aspects of our AI project as well as strategical aspects of our AI projects.
Okay, thank you, Bartek. I encourage our viewers to ask questions throughout the session, and we will do our best to answer them as we go along, or at the end during Q&A session. Let's now move on the main part of our session, where we start with would you hire an AI agent for your software development team? In our webinar, we are diving into the question that long ago would have sound a little bit like a science fiction. Yeah, but let's today explore what AI agents are, how far they've come, and are they an opportunity to redefine software development and how we deliver software actually. By the end, I hope that it will give you a clear picture of whether AI agent belong in your team, whether it's a tool or your teammate. So, Bartek, let's start with the simplest question. What are AI agents actually?
So AI agents are the type of AI that is somehow autonomous. I mean, it has some kind of capabilities that it can do something. It can use some tools to deliver you what you really wanted, and it's autonomous in terms of deciding which tool to use. It is autonomous in terms of deciding if it already has answer for you, or it needs to call more tools, or if it needs to rethink what it came up previously and stuff like that. And if you would like to see how AI agents are working now, it's if you use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is actually not a classic LLM anymore. It's AI agent that can draw a picture, that can query the internet, that can also like do a math operation. I remember like 1 year ago or more, when you asked ChatGPT to do some mathematical equation, it would do it, but it won't be really good at it because actually it's large language models cannot do the math. But now it has tool, and it knows that if it needs to like do mathematical computation, it will like run Python interpreter code or just calculator to compute the number and gives you the answer, right? So this is AI agent. AI agent has tools, is autonomous, and can decide what to do. And also there is some at least I heard about some misconception about what AI agents are on the market. So basically, because of the marketing stuff, a lot of people now trying to claim that their solutions are AI agents because they have some like classical automation workflow enhanced with AI to some extent. And I think that they have like AI agents. But actually, from my perspective, it's not AI agents. If it's not autonomous, if it's not able to decide by itself what to do and when it ends its work, and then it's not AI agent.
Okay, thank you. And as you told, it's all about autonomous decision making. And my next question regarding software development is, what's the most time-consuming task in software development that you wish AI agent could automate?
Yeah. So I think that yes, of course, there are probably a lot of different type of work in software development that take a lot of that take a lot of time and could be replaced by AI agent. But from my perspective, the most important one is that when senior developer needs to write a simple code, it needs to like solve a simple task, and it needs to take time to understand what needs to be done, then take time to go through repository, think about what to do. In the meantime, probably do a lot of context switching between Slack and different like junior developers that ask him something. And then it needs to write a code, write a test, push it to repository, then wait until someone will do a code review, right? Because it's async communication actually. And after this code review, it needs to take this task again understand what it actually done, because I don't know, maybe it's a few hours later. So switch the context again, and like answer to those code review, maybe rewrite some part of code, push it again, wait for another code review and stuff like that. So this is a lot of time to do a simple change in code repository, right? From my perspective, this is the most time consuming part of software development.
Okay, and how AI agent could solve that part in a different way than AI assistants actually do? So, because you said, as you had has said, AI agents actually automate decision making, and but still assistants are quite useful. So what's the key point that AI agent can solve here that I would like really to use AI agent?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of software development, it's more like AI agents are autonomous, so they solve issues on Jira or GitHub, GitLab just autonomously, and their works ends with a merge request to the repository. So you actually don't need to be developer to use AI agent to solve issue on a GitHub. AI assistant, on the other hand, they are helping developers, so they can speed up the process of developing the right code. But like I described previously, actually the most time-consuming part is not writing code, it's doing everything around, like everything before you write a code and everything after you write a code, right? So AI assistants are not great time boosters in terms of developer work. Of course, there still are, because they speed up this part of the development, but this part is very small. On the other hand, autonomous agents are just like you would add another developer to your development team. So you just increase the capacity of your whole team, because you have more developers in your team, so they can handle more tasks. They can deliver more tasks in one sprint, right?
Okay, so just simplifying, then just assume that AI assistant helps one person or one developer, while AI agent is actually like a team member, simply speaking. And as you have as has said. That there are different parts of software development, software delivery. It's not just coding. You've mentioned about code reviews, you've mentioned about Jira and so on. So is it like AI agents can be used in every aspect of software delivery, or not like just in coding? What are the most
Mhm.
common use cases of AI agents in other parts than coding?
Yeah, today there are a lot of agents to different part. I don't think there's one agent that can handle everything. I've seen agents that can turn Figma charts to JavaScript code, or agents that can write tests to merge requests, or do code review, or rewrite issue statement, or so to add more points to description. It can also interact with the user, so ask about specific things that it will think it are missing in a task description and stuff like that, so developer then have broader view of what needs to be done. But from my perspective, the agent that I'm most interested in is of course the one that develops code. So basically, it's able to read issue in Jira and develop code, push it to the repository, and like this. Yeah.
And there's one obvious question that can be also a misconception, but I need to ask it. Is it like AI agents can replace developers?
I mean, yeah, it's. I wouldn't say replace. I would definitely say replace the way they do development right now. So definitely, or the way software development teams do they work right now. It will replace it with some different type of development. Still, I'm not sure how it will look like, and I think nobody knows. But definitely, it will be disrupted by AI. The like current style, it is disrupted already to some extent, but this will change even more in upcoming years. Um, so yeah, eventually it will replace developers as we know them now, right? So developers in 5 years will be totally different developers than we currently know.
So basically speaking, competencies of developers needs to change, and I suppose that we can say that developers must more focus on, let's say, business part, or just explaining business requirements to AI, for example. And it's like just managing this AI agent. It's not like developers will do code in the future. They will work like, let's call it proxy BAs or something like that. Do you consider that it's like that's the direction that developers' competencies will shift?
It might be like this. Maybe we will end up with only like software architects that will create the architecture and then write tasks to AI, so AI can deliver everything. And maybe they will also, besides being architects, they will be also like a testers, and they will then like do a code review that will they will test it and stuff like that. I don't actually know, because when I'm saying the word that they will create architecture, like the first thought that I have in mind is that, I don't know, AI also can create architecture, so why they would need to do it, right? So I don't really know what part of development will be still in humans' hands. I am pretty sure that to some extent it will still be, but I'm not able to predict which one. Uh,
Yeah, I understand. And who besides developers would be interested in using AI in software development?
mm, I think they should be interested in using AI and software development, but it's not always the case. I mean, it's definitely demanding to learn new tools, and that are initially, if you are like a great developer and you would like to start using AI, initially you find it that they don't provide you with any speed up, because you need to learn them, you need to know how to work with them, and sometimes you just used wrong tool, and you spend a lot of time to trying to fine tune it, to make it work for you, to like adjust your style of work to increase your capability with AI, and then you realize that this tool just doesn't work, or maybe it's not good enough, and you need to get back and write everything by yourself. Uh, so developers that are pretty good in doing their job are less likely to learn new thing that may not provide them with any boost, right? But in terms of new developers, like junior developers, people that are just starting with software development, they are really keen on like learning this AI tools because they are speeding up their learning curve. They can do more and more with it, and eventually they are probably they will be able to become a senior engineers much faster than it was previously. And also because they will learn AI much more, they will understand their flaws better, they will understand how to properly validate what AI wrote. So there is this term currently called vibe coding, when someone is not really taking care about code quality, but just like let AI to do everything. I believe that, of course, it's not a way of building production grade software, but I strongly believe that junior developers currently will develop a great skill of how to validate AI written code, how to ensure that it's like stable and stuff like that. And they will rather be focusing on this part of development than to write clean code by themselves.
It just give me a thought like senior developers actually have the more hard way to learn AI, as like we have been working coding for many years, and junior developers are actually starting from scratch. They are building these competencies from scratch, so they are just using AI basically in any way they can, and learn how to use it, while we're still thinking about coding, how to design and architecture and so on. Do you consider that AI adoption actually regarding senior developers will be more difficult in terms of senior developers than in terms of junior developers?
I mean, definitely it's easier to learn something when you don't need to unlearn something else at the same time, right? And also, definitely, senior developer would be less driven to learn new things because it can do it faster with its own hands. On the other hand, the junior developer is not able to do it with its own hands. So the only way to do it is to learn new tool and to use it, right? So this is something that juniors definitely can take advantage of.
Okay, and do you see maybe what roles within software team may benefit the most from AI agents? Because we talk a lot
Yeah,
about developers, but maybe the other roles are more beneficial in using AI.
yeah, definitely. I think that the most beneficial people would be project managers, product owners, people who actually can't write a code, and but they are actually responsible for delivering proper solution, right? So they would be able to now deliver much more with AI agents than they used to. They would need to they can now like manage smaller teams that can develop more and stuff like that. So I believe that they will benefit the most, especially if they will be able to learn how to write tasks for AI in a proper way, so AI can understand it and deliver a code, right?
Okay, let's focus a little bit more on just deliver and this part of with project managers. As you said, they can learn about how to just explain things to AI, but except that how it can improve more the productivity of them and basically of entire team.
I wouldn't say that this is that it would improve the productivity of their work, like project manager work or something like that. But now they will be able to deliver much more. Actually, for some like small changes, small bug fixes, they wouldn't even bother developer to do it, right? Because they just can write a task and stuff like that. Okay, still now people are doing code review at the end, but it's possible to write a task for AI that will develop a proper change to the code base. And even though they have some long-term roadmap, people are focused on it, and new things are approaching the roadmap all the time. So with AI agents, they are actually able to do more things simultaneously, right? Because they can just create tasks like they do every week or 2 weeks for every sprint. They're creating board with the tasks, and they can now like assign those tasks. To some extent, like some of them, they can assign to AI to deliver the production grade code.
Yeah, and one more thought about that is for me, like it's extremely multidisciplinary, as bug fixing is not like okay, it can be solved by one person, but usually it includes many roles, because sometimes there is needed a BA or someone with business context to know how to solve the bug. Sometimes according to a roadmap, product roadmap, there is needed developer, there is needed tester, maybe DevOps, and so on. And it's like one AI agent can actually solve all those issues simply by being assigned by the project manager to do so. Do I understand
Yeah.
it correctly, or?
Actually, no. Like what you described may be possible in the future as a multi-agent system. So you will have agent for business analytics, for any other like role that you describe, and of course at the end will be agent to like software developer agent. And as a multi-agent system, you as a project manager would write a I don't know, issue or some statement about what kind of bug do we face right now, and they will work together to find out what needs to be done, and at the end they will create task for the last agent, so this developer agent to develop the proper change, right? So I can imagine a future like this, right? But currently definitely we are not at the moment where this is possible. But this end part of it, if project manager do everything with humans and at the end knows what needs to be done and just needs to create a task for developer, it is now able to create this task for AI.
Okay, I see. There's one question that I think you will like. It's regarding cost. Uh, Running an AI agent is less expensive than hiring a developer. Is it true or false?
Um, yeah, like currently, definitely yes. I mean, for example, in our solution DeepNext, we estimate that solving junior level tasks costs something about $1. So and and we also estimate that junior developer can solve like maybe 2 or 3 tasks like this per day if the guy is very effective. So you can compute the difference, right? You have $3 here, and I don't know how many you need to pay for junior developer, and it looks differently probably in different industries, but it's definitely less expensive than hiring developer. But in terms of more complex tasks like medium level or senior level, um, I assume that, of course, it's not currently possible, but I assume that future AI agents that will be able to solve regular level tasks or senior level tasks would take advantage of something we called scaling test time compute. So they will just use more compute power to bring better hypothesis, to bring better solution on the table. And they will be definitely more expensive. And there could be a situation where, okay, we are able to deliver agent that can solve senior level tasks, but it actually is not less expensive than senior developer. And we will need to wait until computing power will be less expensive, will be cheaper, and like querying AI tokens simply will be cheaper.
Okay, thank you. And one thing that you spoke about different complexity of tasks, like junior level tasks, medium, senior, and so on. How do we know that AI agent is actually able to solve a junior level or, for example, medium level task? How can we recognize that AI agent can actually solve it correctly?
This is why we still need humans. I mean, the systems are not 100% autonomous when we deals with real world projects. So by real world project, I mean something that is not just like a build small page, a web page from scratch, right? I'm talking about big code bases with a lot of code that was written for last 10 years or something like that, and you need to build something on the top of it. So AI agent is in most cases is able to solve the issue, but at the end you need to the human needs to take a look at it, understand if this is something that we really wanted, and if not, it needs to do like proper code review. So just like write comments, okay, you shouldn't do it like that, you shouldn't do it in a different way, this won't solve the issue because of this and this, and you need to change this and this, and AI agent should be able to correct itself. And of course, the more complex task is, and the more advanced capabilities are needed to actually solve it, it may not be possible at current stage of technology to solve certain issues. And this is one of the skills that developers should, or maybe project managers should develop right now. So they should work with AI just to understand when to use it and when not to use it.
Yeah, I see. And as you said, sometimes we need to make a code review for what AI agent did. And I'm just wondering the part of junior developers here. It's like are junior developers able to do is or maybe this way. It's like let's say that the AI agent solves the problem of junior level, and we assume that the code review should be done by medium developer or senior developer of higher seniority. And what is the part of junior developers in such scenario? Is it like they are still just using AI for very, very simple tasks, or you see other way of how they are using AI?
Mhm. I would say that it's a really good question, and I'm still asking myself what junior developers will do in the future. There are few possible scenarios, but what is the most important is that it already happens. Like situation like this already happened in the past. So, for example, like I don't know, 20 years ago or maybe 30 years ago, something like that, there was no much frameworks on the market. So, for example, if you would like to write a Python web page, like backend to a web page, you probably would need to write a lot of code from scratch without using frameworks like Django, or maybe I don't even know if Django existed, probably not, or maybe it was in a very early stage. So junior developer for most of its time was writing the same code of APIs, you know, and when frameworks approach the markets, we also asked the same question. So what they would do right now? Because the frameworks are doing everything they usually do when they were learning about the software development. Those advanced concepts, they were doing it by writing the simple code that will be now handled fully by frameworks. But eventually they adapt, and nobody asks now questions. We have like a whole learning programs how to create a senior or regular level developer from junior developer, and it's already, I would say, done. And we will need to adapt again. So junior developers would not be able to do simple tasks right now because AI would do it. So they would need to do something differently, and we will need to find out what they do. Maybe they will do a code review. Maybe they will be rewriting tasks for AI. I don't know. The question is, what would be the most simple way to enter software development, right? Like a few years ago, the most simple way was just to learn a little bit of coding and then find a job as a junior developer somewhere. It won't be the case right now. Maybe now it would be to learn AI tools and development with AI tools and then enter some junior AI software developer or something like that. I don't know. And to just manage AI solutions that we have in the in a company. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I am like true believer in humanity, and I'm pretty sure that we will adapt to the situation and everything will be fine.
What I'm wondering is like maybe junior developers want, of course, they want code, they want to use AI to code, but they will learn from medium developers and senior developers how to work with AI and understand faster the aspects of design, architecture, and so the bigger concepts. And actually, they will learn faster to become a medium developers without actually coding. It's like maybe this is the way, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everyone needs to adapt. And what I'm thinking about this scenario is like it will extremely increase productivity in very short time comparing to current times. So still, it's like it's a productivity boost. But yeah, it's quite amazing what the future holds. And one thing about introducing AI into or integrating AI with teams, how does AI actually integrate into existing development workflows without disrupting actually how it works right now? What is the best way to actually introduce AI to a team?
So yeah, this is actually a good question, and we have a lot of tools on the market, and all of them like prefer slightly different way. Um, So yeah, you of course you have like a GitHub Copilot that was probably the first advanced AI tool that helps developers, and this is just and it started with just simple code completion, and it was really nice. Not huge boost from it, but a really nice solution, and could speed up the process. Then we have tools like Cursor and Family, so they have chats in your VS Code or PyCharm or any other IDE, and you can like ask them questions about your code base, make changes in the code base and stuff like that. And these systems are, from my perspective, they are not the ones we will win this market, I would say, because they demand from developers to learn new way of developing. So from my perspective, and the way we do our AI solution in DeepNext is we try to create like AI junior developer like in 100%. So it will be fully autonomous, and it is able to connect to Jira, take tasks, and create merge requests to your repository, and you can communicate with it through comments, through code review comments and stuff like that. So you just add you just add another developer to your team that can handle like simple tasks at the beginning, and we believe, of course, with the advanced when technology will advance, it will be able to solve more and more complex issues, right? And this is the way I believe AI will work in the future. And yeah.
Yeah, and as we talk, aspects of software development, like Jira, business context, code reviews, testing. There's one part that I haven't asked. It's documentation. Do we need documentation still? It's like, for example, a scenario. I'm just onboarding to a new project, to a new team, and it usually was painful just to learn this entire project code base and so on. Plenty of code documentation that is not up to date. Is it still a problem right now, or agents can easily introduce us into new code base, and we can just basically, for example, ask for explanation or for knowledge graphs based on a project?
Yeah, so in DeepNext, we definitely are an agent that wants to solve issue. At the beginning, it creates some, let's call it knowledge graph about the repository. And so based on that context, is then it's able to find out which files will be involved in the further development. And this is something that AI is definitely capable of. So it can not only read documentation, it can understand what it is in a code without documentation. It is able to write documentation. It's all about creating proper agent and giving it proper capabilities. Of course, when I talk about this, it's made seems easy, like you just write agents and it works. Of course, it's not as easy as it seems. It's definitely hard to properly evaluate such model, if such model is doing a good job or not. This is also a very interesting thing about AI agents that we haven't covered, but maybe we should, is that they are pretty easy to develop and to deploy, but then pretty hard to make accurate. Yeah, this is probably why we hear a lot of noise about AI agents and a lot of hype about them, and we can see a lot of like simple tutorials that lets you build AI agents in 15 minutes. But actually, when it comes to production grade solution that needs to generate ROI, you need huge investment and you need huge scale to actually cover this investment and create some return.
Yeah, exactly. And uh, one thing also that we partially covered is we should discuss that human part is needed in this process. It's like, of course, AI agent may just generate something, and still, how do we know this is what we exactly needed? And there is one a very big area that I think is being discussed a lot currently. Is it like we should assess the result of AI agent in let's call it human metrics? Like we just care about design, clean code, just making sure that there is no tech debt and so on. Does those areas or aspects still apply to how AI agents work? Should we still just try to analyze them with the way how we just care about clean code, or it's no longer needed, and maybe we should just let them code if it's working, if the tests are, for example, green, maybe it's the way that we just allow them to create and generate code.
Yeah, so this is something that you need to decide when you want to develop your own AI solution. So, for example, in DeepNext, we wanted to create it in a way that's able to read from your repository what is the style of this repository, what kind of best practices you are using in this repository. So our agent is able to understand it and follow these rules. It actually at the beginning it creates some lists of rules that it should follow and further development, right? And it's but actually you can do it differently. So for example, you can create agents that you would say, no matter what exists in the repository, you have to follow this and this rules, this and this best practices, and you wanted to do it, you force your agent to do it because you want your agent to develop always the high quality codes, and you wanted to set the standards for it. So it all depends on you. And of course, the most important part about it is not what you want AI agent to do, because you can make him do whatever you want. But the question is how to then evaluate if it actually do actually does what you want it to does, right? This is an issue, because how to evaluate them, and if you have like if you have some demand, for example, like that lines of code cannot be longer, there's something like some number, right? You can then create a simple script that will check it and will like reject the code that is not following this rules, right? And this is simple. But what about more soft requirements, like, I don't know, try to write a clean code, do not like I don't know, overcomplicate things and stuff like that. It's actually hard to judge automatically. You can of course always use separate agents to judge it, but it won't be like perfectly fitted to your needs. So the question is how to then evaluate. And this is the most important part of building AI agent systems, that it's not only about like creating proper architecture, it's very important, but at the end, you have to be able to evaluate each part of the system if it works correctly. And then if you wanted to improve one part of the system, you have to be able to separate this part of the system, work on it for a few weeks to make it better in what you demand from it, and then bring it back to the whole system, right? Um, so it means that you have to have evaluation sets for each part of your multi-agent system, or even single-agent system for each tool of your system and stuff like that. This is a very tough thing to be done correctly.
Yeah, and recently I have heard of a very extreme scenario. Like, let's assume that the only evaluation here are basically tests, unit tests, or any tests that cover the future code. And let's just have a team of AI agents, just AI agents, and let's do as much tests as we can, covering in the best case scenario 100% of our all business requirements, and let them just code. But we do not check clean code, we do not check anything related to design, we only check whether tests are passing or not. Do you see it as a possible future that AI agents can actually just code and we will focus only on business requirements and, for example, writing tests? Is it possible, or it is like there is no way? We still need to just see their output and evaluate whether it's correct or good, depending on our assumptions.
At the current level of technology, I don't think what you describe is possible right now. It may be in the future. It's this landscape is progressing so fast that we might see something you described at the beginning as something really doable. But currently, this is absolutely not possible. We still need human in the loop that will just evaluate at the end the results of AI and accept it, and cover all the flaws of AI. So, for example, is that like one that we thought that is like, for example, clean code. It, even though if you explicitly said to it that write clean code, it will, for the most of the time, it will write clean code, but sometimes it won't. So you need, somebody needs to catch it and just like correct it.
Okay, and regarding clean code, it's like developers basically care about code due to maintainability in the future. They just don't want to generate tech debt because you will need to handle it in the future. So that's why we care about some metrics, principles, clean code, and so on. Does it matter to AI agents, or is it like maybe this part of output is maybe not the best of what would, for example, senior developer do, but still it doesn't matter when AI agent need to change it. It will change it because it understands it fully, and it doesn't matter to him about how clean it is. It's like as we talked, we need to evaluate it, but still, do we need to apply human metrics, human life metrics to output of AI agents, or maybe we just should focus on other parts of development?
Yeah, it depends, because if we talk about hybrid style, where we have humans and we have AI working hands to hand and committing to the code base just to almost the same extent, you need to make sure that AI follow the same rules, and it writes clean code, easy to understand and stuff like that. But in the future, if AI writes codes alone without any human even doing code reviews, then it actually doesn't matter, because why we do a clean code? Not because it's optimal way of writing code. It's because it's the optimal way of writing code that is then easy to understand to other team members, because we don't develop things in a vacuum. We develop things in most cases with a team. We need to assume that new team members will join in the future. They will need to understand what is happening. So we write clean codes, so it's easy to understand. But actually, AI is able to read everything at once, and doesn't actually need to have this code clean to understand what is happening inside, on the one hand. But on the other hand, maybe it just needs to, AI will develop in the future, or maybe we will develop for AI in the future, like a totally different language, programming language, that would be, much easier for AI to handle, to write a code. It will be harder for humans to understand, but easier for AI, right? So this is also some future that I would predict that will happen, that we will develop some AI, some coding programming language that would be especially crafted for AI.
Okay, and one thing also that is related partially to clean code and maintainability, it's like we still, when we have a clean code, we are able to predict or estimate next changes in more predictable way, basically. So estimations are rather easier than harder. Does AI agents change anything according to estimations about delivery of changes? Is it like it's easier, or AI agent can also somehow suggest or estimate how long some changes, how much time it will take, or it's like maybe doesn't matter anymore?
I don't think it would matter in terms of AI, because it is able to solve tasks very quickly compared to humans, and it's able to do simultaneously several tasks, right? So this is something that probably won't be an issue. And I imagine the situation when, for example, you have development team and you measure story points that they deliver each sprint. So these numbers should increase by a lot, but when applying AI agent, to like adding AI agents as a junior developer to your team. So imagine that you have junior developer, and you can actually, in every week, you can put as much tasks as you would like to it, right? There is no limitation. It can create like infinity story points for you. It's all about if you are able to write proper number of tasks for him. So you will be the bottleneck, not the developer, right? Yeah, of course, like in the code review and stuff like that. So bottleneck will be somewhere else.
Okay, I see. It's quite interesting as we might become bottleneck comparing to AI, and but yeah, it's the problem here actually. So it's
Yeah,
like,
because
well, what? Yes.
yeah. Currently, you have situation when in the most, like in almost in every project, like software development project that I was involved in, we face situation when we have more ideas, more features we would like to add to our application, or more tech debt that we would like to, abandon, say fix, or some, changes that we would like to make. Then we have time to actually do it, right? And we need to be very like carefully picky about what to do next to ensure that we deliver the most important part and stuff like that. So I believe in a future where it won't be the case. The case would be more like you are not able to produce enough good ideas for AI to solve it, because it solves it so quickly, right?
Yeah. And one of the last questions, according to new people in terms of AI agents, when they can be sure that they could introduce AI agent to their team? Is it like there are any metrics, qualities that will just answer that it's worth introducing AI agent right now, or is it like maybe it's not worth it?
So it's probably all about how you measure that adding new developer, it's actually brings you proper quality, right? To your, if you have it already in your team. So for example, you have the story points, for example, but there could be a lot of different ways of measuring, but let's stick to the story points. If your team is doing 100 story points each sprint, so when you add next senior developer, you, for example, expect that now they will be able to deliver 120. If you add a junior developer, you expect 10 points more, story points more. And if you are able to measure like human performance, then you will be able to measure AI performance, because it will work exactly in the same way. You are adding AI agents to your development team, and you are assigning to the tasks to it, and you just check how much more story points you created in this sprint. Yeah.
Okay, and we talked a lot about the future, but my question is, how do you predict the new future regarding software delivery in terms of AI agents? I know that we talked about a lot of different scenarios, but what do you think is the most possible scenario that will come?
Yeah, so I'm not pretty sure about how exactly AI, which kind of AI agents will win software development battle, and how software development will look like in the future. But I'm definitely sure that we will be able, with AI, deliver software in such a pace that creating new ideas will being new bottleneck for AI, right? This definitely will happen one day. But in terms of how exactly it will happen, with what kind of agents, what will be the path to it, I'm pretty not sure I can like bet to something. So from my perspective, it would be like we bet in DeepNext. So we just create AI agent that is connected to software, to task management system, to your GitHub repository or any other repository, and when technology advances, it is able to solve more and more complex issues. And you have product owner, product manager that is writing those tasks for it. And one day it realized that there is no tasks in backlog, and AI is waiting for it, and nothing actually came, right?
Okay, thank you. Let's move to our Q&A session. We already answered one question, but if you have more questions, please type them in the chat, and I will just ask the last question, especially for our viewers. Can you give us just one tip about pro tip about working with AI agents? What we should be prepared for?
Yeah, so I think there are two most important aspects from my side. So in your weekly routine, you have to spare some time to just try new AI tools, because they are approaching the market and in such a pace that is like amazing, right? If like 3 months ago we lived in I have a feeling that 3 months ago I had different playbooks to how to do proper projects than I have now, and I expect that it will change every 3 months. So definitely you have to spare some time to be up to date with tools that in your career would be important. Second thing is that you have to be willing to learn, like extremely willing to learn, even though you know that you can do something faster without AI. And you know that you are so good at it that you don't need AI to do it properly, that's great. But still, learn it. Still check how it works, and give, like, sacrifice some time to be good at using some kind of AI, and improve your work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. There are no other questions, so I think that we can just end today. So thank you all for joining us today. A special thanks to you, Bartek, for sharing your insights, your pro tips at the end. And it was a very valuable conversation. Stay connected with us because there are more discussions in the future about software delivery in AI-powered world. The next webinar will be about AI tech leadership and how to drive AI adoption in your engineering team. And thank you very much to you all. Have a nice day. Thank you very much and bye. See you.
Thank you very much. Bye.